Hello guys, this is Becca, and it is time for Rocking with Becca. If you don't know what Rocking with Becca is, it's a video I do on Saturday where I sit in my rocking chair, rocking a baby, and have a little chat with you. I usually give a shout out for a channel that is under 1,000 subscribers. I share with you the baby of the day, and then we have a little topic that we talk about. I'm going to be a little scattered today because we've had an interruption this morning. Not a very pleasant interruption, but nonetheless, an interruption. Today's my husband's birthday, and he turned 67 years old today. And one of our granddaughters went and got us some breakfast and brought it over, surprised us, surprised my hubby, and spent the morning with us until almost 12 noon. She was going to meet her sister that got off of work at 12 noon. And so she stayed the morning visiting with us. It was a very pleasant surprise. But even though it was very pleasant and enjoyable and thankful, that she thought of my husband and all, with somebody like me, it threw me off of my schedule, which is not as important as family. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just telling you facts of what it does. But it kind of threw me off. Anxiety kind of started rising because, I work on a schedule. And so now I'm a little scatterbrained because of it. Probably not making sense. Probably didn't start the video off right. I really just kind of scatterbrained because of it. I hate that I'm that way. But, when you're by yourself all the time, and it's not very often that, you have visitors. It's not very often that you have to encounter interruptions of your regular scheduled program. I work on a scheduled program. It kind of throws you off when that does happen. Not that you don't enjoy, the person and the visit and the thought and the love. It's just it throws you off because you're not used to that. See, I know I didn't start the video right. This video is usually a lengthy video. My Rockin' Rebecca videos are usually lengthy. I have me a cup of coffee. You might want to take this time to pause the video, go grab you a snack or something to drink, and I'm looking because it got really dark in the living room. Not like nighttime dark, but the sun was shining in there. The sun must have went behind a cloud, or the cloud covered the sun, however it goes. Let me take a sip of coffee. Okay, it's coming back out. A cloud must have went over blocked the sun. But anyway, yeah, Rockin' with Becca is usually a lengthy video. I don't really worry about how long it is. It's my only video that's this long. Only video through the week that's this long. And I just take today to enjoy visiting with y'all. And we talk about a topic and, we share things. Now, I am going to leave off small dolls and stuffies that I usually do. I usually participate in a collab that is hosted by Alicia over at Binky's and Blanky's Nursery. It is called Small Dolls and Stuffy Saturday. Um, I usually do that in my Rocking with Becca videos. Today I'm going to leave that off because I am so scatterbrained. And I don't know how long, you know, what I'm wanting to talk about. I don't know. I don't know if I can get my mind together to talk about it. This may be a short Rocking with Becca. Oh, sorry. Probably over an hour now. Because every time I say it's going to be short, it's longer than normal. But anyway, guys, I know this has been scatterbrained. I know it has. Please forgive me. I can't help things like this affect me. I really can't. We sat in the living room, you know, just still and talking, and I have to admit, I got sleepy. So now, me talking after being sitting there quiet and, you know, just talking quietly, and now I'm probably going to do a lot of yawning. And please forgive me. I apologize. I'm not going to take the time every time I yawn to say excuse me. Please excuse me. I do have my coffee. Of course, I did get decaf because I've already had my other cup that I normally would have drank here in Rockin' with Becca because our granddaughter brought us a cup of coffee from the restaurant, and along with some breakfast. And so I've already had that cup. So when I made this one, I made it decaf. Should have went ahead and made it regular coffee because I need it. But anyway, I am sorry. I am so sorry. I feel like it has been so scatterbrained already. Just scattered about, not making any sense. And I am so sorry for that. So, let's go ahead and I'm going to share with you my baby of the day. I have my sweet baby right here. And she is actually starting this is her first day of triple days. If you don't know what triple days is, it's just a little something I'm doing where I take one baby and I have them for 3 consecutive days before I get another baby. I do have a toddler on the side every day that I switch out every day. But as far as the baby type babies, I'm having them 3 consecutive days before I switch out to another baby. And I am enjoying it. I am enjoying my time when I just had them for 1 day and then switched them out. There would be some days that, you know, I would be so busy that I didn't really get even hardly to change their clothes or anything. And I'm enjoying these 3 consecutive days. See, I got scatterbrained. My mind, I can't get my thoughts together, guys. I'm sorry. I'm kind of in the back of my mind trying to think. There was something I was wanting to talk about before I actually went into the topic we're going to talk about today. And I failed to write it down. And I know better than that. I know better than that. I failed to write it down. And now I am racking my brain trying to think what it was that I wanted to say. I can't even remember if it was concerning the topic. I know it was something extra. And I didn't write it down. But anyway, that's what got me off track just then. But my baby of the day is my Christy Marie. She was gifted to me by a friend called her YouTube channel is Dreams of Babies. And this is my little Christy. And she is dressed up. I dressed her up really pretty today in a frozen. She has frozen on her dress, and it's really pretty. She's got on these thigh-high socks that has the little bows, and she's got some little black patent leather shoes on. She has the little blue bow that brings out brings out the boo in her dress. The blue in her dress. Oh, goodness, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But she's my baby of the day. And then I haven't even looked yet to see who the toddler for today is. Yes, I plan. I have a planner, and I plan what babies I'm going to have what days, and what themes I'm going to do what days, and things like that. But with the interruption, although it was a pleasant interruption, with the interruption this morning, it's just gotten me off kilter. It is after 12 noon. I usually do my videos before noon, and my Rockin' with Becca video, and so this has just threw my whole day off. So, and now I'm out of breath, trying to think of everything, trying to get everything in. I don't know. I wished I wasn't like I am. I wished I could function like I used to as a young person. But I can't. So I'm going to go ahead and do the shout out for today. Like I said, I like to shout out the smaller channels that are under 1,000 subscribers that I am subscribed to. And because I remember when I was under 1,000, I would think, oh, if these bigger channels would just shout me out, I could get some more subscribers. So I'm doing my best to help these smaller channels. This channel is called Millie or Miley, M-I-L-Y, Reborn Baby Dolls. I will have her link in the title, so all you have to do is click on her link and go check her out. She has 532 subscribers, and I didn't have time to check this morning to see if she had another video up or not, but the last video she put up, I think, if I remember correctly, don't hold me to it, because I've watched a lot of videos yesterday. But I think her last video that she put up was 2 weeks ago. Anyway, it was such a fun video. You really need... I think what I will do when I put her link in the title, if it'll let me, I'll try to link her video. Or maybe, no, I'll just put her channel link in the title. In the description, I will have the link to this particular video I'm talking about. So all you have to do is drop down the description box where it says more, click on more to drop it down, and there's all kind of things in the description box. I will have her link there of this particular video, so you can just click on it and go see the video I'm talking about. It was so fun. She has some beautiful babies. If you would, go over and check her out. See if she would be someone you would like to watch. Let her know I sent you. So, I wished I could think what I wanted to say before I actually got into my topic. but I can't remember. I wished I'd have wrote it down. Oh. Okay, I think it's kind of coming back to me. I think this might have been what I was wanting to say. Seems like it was. We're going to say this anyway, whether it was what I was talking about or not. If you are a new subscriber, I'm pretty sure this is what it was. If you're a new subscriber or you have just passed over my videos and or anyone else's videos and you are not a dog collector and you wonder what in the world is all of this about reborns, I want to explain a little bit to you about reborns. Reborns are artist painted dolls that are painted to look as realistic as the artist can get them. They are artist work. They are made to, they're put together and weighted to be the weight of a baby that size. They are artist work. And some people collect reborns just for the art of the work. You know, just for the art of it. Just like anybody else would collect maybe teacups or maybe someone liked certain paintings, like maybe Thomas Kincaid paintings and things like that. You know, they love the art of it. And some collectors, that's what they collect them for, is the art of it. Then there are collectors in between there that, when I say in between there, I'm going to tell you where I'm at. I'm at the other end. But in between what I do and collecting it just for the art, there are those that collect them mainly for the art, but they also participate in different activities in the doll community where they change their dolls for certain themes, certain seasons, you know, different things like that. They do videos sharing the dolls, you know, and changing them for those seasons and themes and stuff. But then once they get the doll changed and they're through with their video, the doll goes back to its designated spot, and that's where it stays until next video. Then there's people like me that loves the art, loves how realistic the dolls look and feel, loves doing the things and doing videos, changing the babies for certain things. But beyond that, my dolls are therapy. There's people like me that use their dolls for therapy. I did not start collecting as for therapy. I started collecting for the art of it and how realistic that some of them could look. And but once I got into it and my health declined, my mental health, my physical health, my babies became more of a therapy for me. And yes, I call them my babies. I don't put them before my family. I don't put them before Macy, my dog. live, breathing humans and animals, my dogs and all, you know. That's first over my dolls. But my dolls are my therapy. And at this point in my life, I don't ever want to be without one. Now, to give you just a little bit of understanding of how the dolls are therapy for people that use them for therapy, if you have ever been in the hospital and you was really nervous, you know, about whatever was going on, say you was going to have a surgery or, you know, whatever, and you was real nervous about it, did the nurses ever get like a warm, heavy blanket and lay it over you? If you've ever experienced that, then you'll know what I'm talking about. There's something about that warm, heavy blanket that kind of calms you, kind of soothes you, kind of helps you. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know the medical reasons why it does. But if you've ever been in the hospital and experienced them putting a warm, heavy blanket on you, you will understand what I mean about a calming, soothing effect. There is something about holding one of these weighted dolls. Okay, let's take it not being in the hospital. Do you know you can purchase weighted blankets? You can purchase weighted blankets. And there's something about putting that weighted blanket on you that kind of just calms you, soothes you. I don't own one, but I've experienced it in the hospital. Do you have a special stuffed animal that you hug up to? Maybe, you know, us as adults, we don't want to say it like this because we feel like we're downing us, putting ourselves in the ranks of children. But do you have a stuffed animal that you sleep with at night, or that you cuddle with at different times? Do you have an animal, a dog or a cat, that you snuggle with, gives you a feeling of calmness, a feeling of, I don't know, it just seems to calm you? Well, these weighted dolls has that same effect. Holding a weighted doll in your arms against your body is like having a weighted blanket or a warm hug from someone. It's like someone wrapping you in their arms. I don't know the medical reasoning of it and why it works, but it works. When I feel really anxious and I feel, you know, nervous and like my mind is scattered and all, I can take one of these babies and I can hold them and press them. I even press them harder than just holding them. Press them into my body. And there's something about that calms me and soothes me and helps me. And I have a bear, a big stuffed bear that I sleep with at night. Yes, I sleep with my husband, and the bear does not, I don't put the bear between us. I have my husband on one side and the bear on the other. So if I turn toward my husband, I can put my arm over my husband. If I turn toward the outside of the bed, I can put my arm over the bear. It's just something soothing. I actually slept with a pillow in the place of where the bear sleeps. Now, you know what I mean? um, I had a pillow I hugged up to when I turned toward the outside of the bed. But I wanted a bear's. You know, I asked my husband, actually asked him for like a laying down dog. I wanted a laying down dog, long laying down dog, to put beside me because I love dogs. And to put beside me on the outside of the bed, that when I turn over that way, I could prop my left arm over on it and pull it up close to me and have something close to me when I'm turned toward the outside of the bed. Well, when he went to look for something of that effect, he couldn't find what I was asking for in a dog, and so he got me the big bear. And I love my bear. I still wished I had a dog, and I may myself look on Amazon until I find what I'm looking for and get me one. But I love my bear. I pull it up close to me when I'm turned towards outside the bed. It just gives me a sense of calmness. And so that's what these dolls do. That is the therapy part of these dolls, and that's what they are. That's what they do for me. I have a lot of anxiety, just like this morning. I mean, it was awesome that our daughter-in-law, our granddaughter thought of my husband enough to take her time and her money and go buy us a breakfast, to come in and visit with us. That was so sweet and so wonderful, and we appreciate it so much. But even though it was wonderful, it threw me off. It got my anxiety all messed up. And just sitting here holding this baby, pressing it into my body, is calming. It's really calming. So that is definitely what I was wanting to say. I wanted to explain a little bit to those that maybe have come across my channel and don't understand, about reborns. And lately, I have my reborns. I have 30 reborns. Artist painted, authentic reborns. And I love my reborns. This one is a reborn. And some people I've heard Penny on, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Her channel name I say it all the time and it just flew out. Something Doll Adventures, I can't remember. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, Penny. But she was talking about that lately she has gotten more nervous, with her reborns. Where when she first got them, she wasn't worried about the paint job or anything. She just changed their clothes and cuddled with them and all this. And lately that she has been more concerned and more careful and picky with her dolls, not wanting to, hurt them in any way. Well, like I said, I have 30 reborn dolls, and I'm not going to just leave them sitting on the shelf scared to touch them. I cuddle with them just like I would any other doll. I change their clothes. I treat them, just like I do any other doll. Of course, I'm careful with all my dolls, no matter where they come from. But if I'm not going to interact with them and cuddle with them and let them be a therapy for me, there's no need to have them, I enjoy changing their clothes. I enjoy cuddling with them, and I'm just one of those that I'm not worried about the paint. If it gets to where they get really bad losing paint, and I have the money, I can send them off to an artist that be repainted, But I'm not going to worry about that because the therapy part of it is more important to me than the paint job. But with that being said, I do have And I meant to look that word up to make sure I pronounced it right. I have simulant dolls. I hope I'm pronouncing that word right. I have a lot of simulant dolls that I call my toddler dolls that sit with me when I go in the craft room and think that I, don't have to worry so much about their paint job and stuff like that because they're not expensive dolls. They're simulant dolls. I hope I'm saying that word right. Matter of fact, I'll put that word in the description with the definition of it so you can go look in the description and see what I'm talking about. I have a lot. I have more of that type doll than I have reborns. And I enjoy those just as much as I do my reborns. So, guys, I'm so sorry. It's already 30 minutes into the video. But like I said, I don't really worry about it. I'm kind of calmed down now. I was really scatterbrained at the beginning. Really nervous, really had a lot of anxiety raging inside of me. But sitting here holding my little Christy has calmed me, and talking to y'all has calmed me some. I'm not right back up to par yet, but it's getting there. The first 30 minutes of this video has probably been just so out of kilter and out of... I hope you've made sense of it. I hope I've made sense of what I've been saying. But anyway, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put in the description of this video Alicia's link and hashtag of small dolls and stuffies. Even though I didn't do it today, I'm going to go ahead and put her link there so you can click on her link and go check her out and see what she's doing. Like I said, I'll have the shout out link in the title, and then the link to that video I'm talking about of hers. I'll have it in the description. There'll be quite a few little things in the description that you can go check out and see other things and see definitions of that word, and hopefully I have pronounced it right. And so all that'll be in the description, so you can go check all that out. So now I have a topic that I want to talk about. It was one that someone asked me to talk about. This topic was asked for me to talk about by Baby of Mine Nursery, Jonda, from Baby of Mine Nursery. I will have Jonda's link in the description also, so you can go click on her video, her channel, go check her out. It's kind of a lengthy topic because it kind of... Okay, I'm just going to read what I have here. What do you do when your family don't understand your doll hobby and they constantly criticize your dolls and say they are creepy, or they say, why do you want this thing? Now, this particular question is not talking about people that live in your household. It's not talking about your spouse or your children that live in your household. We have talked about that on other videos about you know, your spouse and children that lives in your household, and what do you do when they're against your hobby? We've talked about that. And that is a little bit different situation than this one. It's more of a sensitive, more of a you got to be careful type thing when you're talking about your spouse and your children that lives in your household. But this question is concerning family members that does not live with you. Okay. Let's say my mom, my sisters, let's say my sister-in-laws, let's even say my children that's no longer at home. If they were constantly on me, criticizing my doll hobby, saying my dolls was creepy, saying I was crazy for having them, first off, what I need to do is to get it established in my mind. Is this hobby what I really want to do? Do I love this hobby? Does this hobby help me? Is my household members okay with this hobby? What does this hobby really mean to me? I have to first establish in my mind whether this is really what I want, or am I on the fence? Am I just sitting on the fence and say I could give it up if I needed to, or I could have it? First off, I've got to establish it in my mind what I want. I can't sit on the fence with it. I've got to either love it or hate it. I can't sit on the fence if I'm going to defend myself. I've got to know this is what I enjoy. This is what I love. This is what I'm going to do. That's got to first be established in my mind. I can't sit on the fence. I'm getting a phone call. I'll just have to call them back. So, once I have that established in my mind, and I know what I want and what my joy is, what I like, and if that conclusion is that I want my dolls, then the next thing I have to do is I have to be firm. Not hateful, but firm. Not mean, but firm. And I would have to tell whether it was my children, whether it was my sister, whether it was my mom, whether it was my daughter-in-laws, whether it was my sister-in-laws, whether it was a close friend, whoever it is, I would have to say very firmly, not mean, but firmly. I would have to say, look, you don't live with me, you don't pay my bills, you don't take care of me, you don't choose what I like and what I dislike. I love my dolls. I love the therapy of my dolls. I love the art of the dolls. I don't tell you what you need to do. I don't criticize you on what you do in your life. don't say another thing about my doll hobby unless it is positive, unless it is encouragement. Do not say another word to me about it. If you do not like my dolls, I'm sorry. But I like my dolls, and I'm going to have my dolls. And I'm tired of the criticism. So don't say another word to me about my dolls unless it's positive. That's what I would have to say to whether it was my sister or my children that doesn't live in the home with me. If my children lived in the home with me and my husband was okay with my hobby and they wasn't, I still would look at them and say, I don't want to hear another word about it. It's my hobby. It's my enjoyment. It's my entertainment. It's what I like. Don't say another word about it unless it's something positive. But you have to be firm. You have to have it in your mind that that's what you want. You cannot be on the fence and wishy-washy yourself, because if you do, it's going to keep you in a tundrum all the time. It's going to keep you all upset. It's going to keep you constantly being criticized. It's going to keep you in a turmoil. And so first off is getting it settled in your mind what you like. Get it settled that this is what I want. Guys, I'm going to have to pause this video. My mom's called. This is third time. I'll come right back when I get through. Oh, okay, guys. Sorry about that. That was my mom, and she called 3 times, so I felt like I needed to check and see, because she lives with my older sister, but at this point, my sister's gone on a month-long vacation, and my mom's not by herself, per se. She has a worker that comes in 3 days a week. Then one of my sister's daughter-in-laws stays with my mom at night. And then between 2 of the, did I say daughter-in-laws? Granddaughters. One of my sister's granddaughters stays with my mom at night. Then during the day, there's 2 different granddaughters that's in and out checking on Mama. And so I didn't know if maybe Mama was there by herself and needed something. So I had to answer that call. I couldn't, let it go. I was worried. But she was all right. She just was calling to check on me. She just wanted to hear from me. But anyway, I'm pretty much through with what I was going to say. But just to summarize what the little talk was about today is, first of all, you need to have it settled in your mind that you love your doll hobby, and you're not going to worry about what people say. Because if you're on the fence, you're going to constantly be hurt by the criticism, by what people say about it. If you have it established in your mind that this is what you like and this is what you're going to do, I'm not saying it won't hurt when people criticize us, but it won't hurt to the point that it would if you're wishy-washy about what you really like. If what people can say and their criticism against your hobby, if it can make you think, I'm just going to give it up, then you don't really have it settled in your mind that this is really what you like. because I don't care what people says about me. I'm not giving up my doll hobby. The only way I'll give up my doll hobby is for God himself to tell me, and I would have to know it was him that told me. Um, and then I would give it up. It wouldn't be easy, but I would give it up if God told me to. But until he does, people can criticize me. My sisters, I have no family member that is interested in my doll hobby. I can't say that they really even encourage me in my doll hobby. They just basically don't say anything about it, and I don't shove it on them. I don't, if they're here, if I have dolls out, I don't go hide my dolls, but I don't say, here, you want to hold them, or try to shove it on them either. But I have no one in my family, like sisters or, anyone, or even close, friends around that participates in the doll hobby. But I'm by myself most of the time. My husband's here at night. During the day, he's in and out. Because he's not an inside person, and he can't sit inside. And I've reached the place of being by myself and learning to enjoy my own company and my own hobbies and my own things, that I've got to the place, just like this morning, that when my regular routine of what I do is interrupted, I don't like it. I don't, it causes me anxiety. But that's just like with my dog. Okay, my dog, for instance, Macy. And before Macy, I had another Boston Terrier that his name was Ringo. He was a male. And my youngest son would, want us to come visit. Well, my dog is like my family because I'm here by myself most of the time. Hardly ever have any visitors. So Macy is my baby. She's my baby. And I don't go places that leaves her at home a long time by herself. I have to go to the doctor occasionally in the town that's an hour away. And when that happens, we're several hours gone. But I don't go somewhere and leave Macy overnight. It may come down to that if something happened that one of us had to go in the hospital or something like that. But Macy's my baby. I'm not going to go off visiting even to my children's house and leave Macy overnight. I'm not going to do it. If I can't take her with me, then I just don't go. I just don't go, and that's the way I am. Why? My son has mentioned you putting the dog above me. I said, no, I'm not putting the dog above you. But I hardly ever see you. You never come to my house. And you won't let me bring her to your house. And she's my everyday companion. You're not. She is. So I'm not going to leave her. It's not that I'm putting her above you. And I'm not going to get rid of her to just be able to go see you twice a year. Or you come see me once a year. I'm not going to do it because I have an everyday life. And she's my companion every day. And so it's the same way, your sister doesn't live with you, or your brother, or your sister-in-law, or whoever it might be, your children that don't live with you. They don't live with you. They don't take care of you. They don't keep you company. They don't pay your bills. So if you love your doll hobby, be firm. You've got to be firm. Not mean, but firm. You've got to say, look, I've had enough of your criticizing. I'm not giving up my doll hobby. I love my dolls. I'm sorry you don't. I'm sorry you don't understand it, but I've had enough. No more criticizing. If you can't say something good about my dolls, don't say anything at all. You've got to be firm. But first off, you've got to have it settled in your mind that that's what you want. Okay, guys, I have no clue how long this video is because, I had to cut it off to answer the phone, and I don't know where it was at when I cut it off. It's already almost 10 minutes now in the second half, but I'm going to go ahead and go. Sorry the first part of my video was scatterbrained. Like I said, when even though it was a pleasant surprise and a pleasant interruption, it did throw me off, and it got my anxiety up, and it took me a little bit of cuddling this baby. Like I said, when I get really a lot of anxiety and get real nervous, I squeeze them into, I hug them tight. And it calms me, and that's what my doll hobby does for me. Although I do love the art of them also, but I love the therapy of it now. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it hasn't been too confusing. But anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!